So let's go through a demonstration here of the ledger posting setup. So what we'll do is we'll walk through the ledger posting setup form. We'll show how posting types are being used when we post, and in order to do that we'll have to run a transaction and look at the voucher. So that's what we'll be going through. Alright, so we're going to demonstrate ledger posting setup. So I will click on the hamburger, go to Project Management and Accounting, and under Setup we have a folder called Posting, and you can see that there's quite a few different menus in here, 3 of them. So we've looked at project groups, default offset accounts for expenses we'll talk about in a little later time, but that's just another posting setup where you can have default entries or default accounts go into your expense journal when you post an expense journal. So for the ledger posting setup form, that's what we specifically want to talk about here. I'll just click into that form and you can see this is what we've already overviewed. Basically we have all our different posting types, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a couple category specific posting types, and we're going to focus on cost for this demonstration. So basically what I'll do is create a new entry, and I'll say sure, for all projects, but only for a specific category. So I'll flip that to table, and I'll pick that administrative category that I defined earlier. And you can see all the accounts that are used for this posting type are pretty similar. It's the 540-100 account. I'm just going to pick something that might not make sense, but it's just going to be different. I want to get the point across. So I'll just pick, start with 54. I'll pick, sure, this one. 510-400. That's our account. So that would be the debit account if we're going to post hours for, and if we're using the administration category. And then the credit account is always this payroll allocation, the one right next to it, and that's if we're posting to P&L. So if I hit the payroll allocation posting type, you can see they're all routed to this 602-100 account, and I'm just going to say, well, now we have an outlier, and it's the administration category, and I'll see if there's something around 602 that makes sense. We'll just do 602-200 if it's there. There we go. So we'll hit that 200 account rather than the 100 account. And then I'll show you an example of posting the WIP as well too. And for WIP, we need to define the WIP cost value, which would be the credit or the debit, and then the credit to that is still the payroll allocation posting type. So we'll pick WIP cost value as well, and we'll say, all right, for all projects, this specific category, which is administration, and we'll find something 160, and we'll see if there's a 500. There is. There we go, WIP other. So that is the accounts that we'll use. So I'll save those changes, and now we'll just jump in and just create a new project. So I'll create a new project, and we'll call it P&L test. And we'll use our simple T&M project group that we created earlier. And I'll pick a contract, and then I'll create the project. All right. So basically what we can have happen here is, well, step one, we got to put this thing in process, else I'm going to get an error when I try and post anything. So we're in process, and I'm just going to post some hours to it. So I'll create a new journal. I'll go to the lines, add a new line, pick administration category. There's nothing at this point that's going to tell you what accounts that you're going to hit. So basically, I'm just going to post this thing, and then we'll go review the voucher. Can't see the voucher from this form either. So what happens is we'll post. Once we post, I'll backtrack to my project details. And on your project, you can always get to all the transactions associated with this project by going to the Manage tab and then in related information, you can go to posted transactions, which you see our one transaction on here, and it's for the administration category. And if I go up to the ribbon or the action menu, you can view the voucher. And now we can see that if it debited 510,400 and it credited that 200 account, and you can see that it even shows the posting type associated with them. So there's my cost posting type, and then there's my project payroll allocation posting type. And I will just open up real quick our ledger posting setup just so you can see. So don't do that. There we go. So where's administration right there? So we expect 510,400 to be used for the cost posting type. So here's the project cost posting type, 510,400, and then if you're seeing all the financial dimensions that were associated with it too, because the account structure for this account requires or allows different 4 different dimensions behind the main account. And then for the project payroll allocation, we can flip to that, and we can see that we map that to the 602,200, and that's what's going on there. We have that being used. So now if we try and post a WIP, let's just do that real quick. I'll just create a new project. We'll call it WIP test, and this is for costs. I created a project group that is telling it when we post hours, I want it to hit the balance sheet. I'll create that project. And I'm gonna show you the project group real quick. So I'm gonna click on TM01. And if I look at the ledger tab here, you can see that I have my post costs going all to balance sheet accounts. And the other one that I used was the simple one that we created. And you can see that it was going to profit and loss. So now, since this test I'm going to be going through and posting to WIP accounts or balance sheet accounts, if I back up here, I'm going to put this thing in process again. Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to say, well, the project group wants us to post to WIP accounts, which is fine, but B, does the line property allow it? So I'll pick my administrative category, and then I can see that we have a billable line property, and if I just left click on that hyperlink, we can see that it is allowing the capitalization of costs. So yes, we can post to the balance sheet when we use this line property. So now I will post, and since we're posting to the WIP account, we have a new posting type being used, which should be that WIP cost posting type. So if we go back to our project and go to manage posted transactions, and we review that posted transaction here, and we hit the view voucher button, we can see now the posting type is project WIP costs and the offset is project payroll allocation. And I don't remember what account we hooked up, but we have a different instance here that we can take a look. So we can hit WIP cost value, we can look at administration, and it should be 160,500, and that's what we see, 160,500, and our same payroll allocation account is used that was last time. So that demonstrates how you can set up your ledger posting profile and basically post it, and gives you a little demonstration of posting the P&L and WIP as well. So one other area that I've got tons of questions on over the years is the search priority. So basically when you define your project group, you can define a ledger search priority. And what that means is when we were just looking at that the ledger posting setup form, basically you can set up combinations of projects and categories at each posting type level to define what accounts to use. And based on what search priority you pick, the AX logic will look through that form differently to find the main account. So once again, there's 2 search priorities. There's project and category. And I have a table depicting each one, and it shows the different ways that the logic will search through that form to find the specific main account. So if we think back to our scenario of posting an hours journal, it's looking at that post cost or that cost posting type. And if it was set to project, it would go in there and it would look to see if there's a project specific administrative category. And in our case, there wasn't. So it would fall back and then go, well, is there a project group specific category combination? And I don't know what category group I had assigned to that administrative category, but it would look for the group. This is not necessarily the way that I would want it to work. I would want it to use the other search priority where it goes and it says, all right, you've defined an account associated with that administrative category. Do you have it at the project level? Nope, we didn't. Is it at the project group level? No, we didn't have that either, but we had a specific category set up for all projects. So it used this one, and I believe I had mine set up as the search priority of category. So that's the route that it went. But you can see the difference. It basically project is the main priority over on the left side, while the category, even though it says second priority here, is really the way that it's searching when you have it set to a search priority category. So hopefully that gives you a little clarity on search priority.